Testing 1, 2. All right. All right. Hey, there we go. I think we're good. Hey, people, how you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black at Night Show. Looks a little dark in here. Guys. How you doing? Let's brighten it up just a little bit. He said that's a little bit better. Not much difference. Okay, guys. Well, my name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. This is a special Coffee with Tim Black because it is the middle of the day. We're going to have our typical show tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we do the typical business of running down the news. But I thought it was important for us to come at you with some news that's breaking. Now would be a good time, guys, if you are available. If you're at your computer, which I hope you are, just type in and let me know if you can hear me. Let's go and make sure my people on Facebook can hear the video. How you doing, Facebook people? What's up, Bruce Linnell and Deborah and Lynn and Rebecca and Jason and Marjorie and Sandra? Thank you so much, guys, for the hearts and the love and the approval. I appreciate it. I will take that as a sign that you are hearing just fine. All right, so now let's run over to YouTube real quick. Make sure YouTube people are here. Sounds good, says Pins and Deborah. Loud and clear, says Robin and Darren and Impatience One. Loud and clear. Thank you, Michael Jeffries. All right, guys. Now, before we do this, guys, do me a favor. Could you share this on your social media? Let people know that we're here and that we're kicking it and that we're live. Because people aren't really expecting me to go live during the day. I don't do so on a regular basis. So it would mean a lot to the channel if you share this now on your social media accounts. Let them know that the Tim Black Show is live for a special Coffee with Tim Black. And I think that's enough time, I guess. All right. You got that good? We're good. Okay, so, guys, we're well aware of what's going on in this race. This race is getting more and more contentious as we head down the road towards Iowa. We're not that far away, less than a month, I think. February 3rd, yes, less than a month, for that actual caucus in Iowa. So, to be expected, things are going to heat up between the candidates. Today, Cory Booker dropped out. So things are getting very serious. You know, Cory Booker, one of the senators who you would think would have had an easier go, just could not muster enough support, grassroots support, in order to keep him in the race. He could not remain viable. I did a tongue-in-cheek sort of a video about it, but tonight I will be covering that more in depth. But as of now, just to let you know, this is getting serious, guys. Cory Booker out of the race. So on the backdrop of Cory Booker dropping out today, the day before the 7th debate, which is scheduled tomorrow, which he, by the way, didn't make. He didn't make that debate. It was not going to appear on that debate stage tomorrow. We have this. Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. And Elizabeth Warren is claiming that Bernie Sanders is sending his surrogates out to trash her. So this is the allegation that's being made by the Warren campaign, that Bernie Sanders sent volunteers out to trash me. Now, this has been picked up by the Washington Post, the New York Times, Politico. I mean, pretty much everywhere you look today. When I woke up, I saw this everywhere. Bad Bernie, evil Bernie, the deceptive Bernie, the backstabbing Bernie, the evil, mean, twisted Bernie Sanders is how this is being depicted. How could Bernie do this to Elizabeth Warren? And what it all boiled down to was a document that was posted in a Slack organization or a Slack thread with Slack like community. So there's these like message boards, for lack of a better term, that are shared by volunteers of the Bernie Sanders campaign to coordinate events, to coordinate canvassing, door knocking, phone banking, what have you. And apparently, there was an account that's only posted one other time in this Slack group of volunteers that posted this document with some ideas about how to address people out in the field regarding Elizabeth Warren. So that's the backdrop of this particular complaint by Elizabeth Warren. Here goes a reporter asking Elizabeth Warren about this. And then here goes her response.
Vaughn, did he yell? Did he go, Vaughn?
Get out of here.
Sanders campaign and the way that they are talking about you at the doors here in Iowa, basically saying that your voters are people who will vote Democrat anyway, that you don't bring new bases into the Democratic tent. Why is he wrong?
I was disappointed to hear that Bernie is sending his volunteers out to trash me. Bernie knows me and has known me for a long time. He knows who I am, where I come from, what I have worked on and fought for, and the coalition and grassroots movement we're trying to build. Democrats want to win in 2020. We all saw the impact of the factionalism in 2016, and we can't have a repeat of that. Democrats need to unite our party. And that means pulling in all parts of the Democratic coalition. It means building a grassroots movement with face-to-face conversations with people who door knock. It means getting a positive message out to people. That's how we will beat Donald Trump. We cannot nominate someone who takes big chunks of the Democratic coalition for granted. We need someone who will bring our party together. We need someone who will excite every part of the Democratic Party. Someone who will be the someone that every Democrat can believe in. I hope Bernie reconsiders and turns his campaign in a different direction.
You say you need someone, though, who every Democrat can get behind. Is that not Bernie Sanders?
I believe we need someone every Democrat can get behind. I'm out there fighting for every Democrat.
Okay, guys, just to make sure, just want to make sure that everybody could hear that because the volume was really bad. I tried to reduce the background noise that was in that video, but I don't know if I did a good job or not. Honestly, it sounds pretty bad. So anyway, let me just briefly go over that. Goodness gracious, man. Let me briefly go over what that tape said or what the video was there. Elizabeth Warren says that this is a response, okay? Here goes the script. Now, this was reported by Politico, New York Times, Washington Post. The script instructs Sanders volunteers to tell voters leaning towards the Massachusetts senator that the people who support her are highly educated, more affluent people who are willing or going to show up and vote Democrat no matter what, and that she's bringing no new bases into the Democratic Party. So that's what the reporter asked Elizabeth about. And then it goes on to say the Sanders campaign did not challenge the authenticity of the script, but declined to comment. The Warren campaign also declined to comment on this script, but as you just heard, Warren herself did comment on the script. So there's a lot of double talk going on about the script, and that's like the first thing. That's probably the only thing we can agree on is that there was, back and forth about the script, and then all of a sudden now Elizabeth Warren comes out and she comments herself. According to Sanders campaign members who were told never to go negative or contrast with other candidates. So these are people behind the scenes who say this is what the directive was handed down from Bernie, not to go negative on Elizabeth Warren or any other candidate for that matter. In fact, when I had Senator Nina Turner on my show, she says, Bernie prides himself on not going negative, that he tries to keep it focused on the issues, not the human being, not the person. So that was that. But in regards to just this clip alone, what she says in this clip is, I was disappointed to hear that Bernie's sending his volunteers out to trash me. Bernie knows me and has known me for a long time. He knows who I am, where I come from, what I've worked on and fought for, and the coalition and grassroots movement we're trying to build. I hope Bernie reconsiders and turns his campaign in a different direction. We all saw the impact of factionalism in 2016, and we can't have a repeat of that, she said. The Democrats need to unite our party. Okay, so Bernie Sanders responded to this. Speaking at an event in Iowa City, Sanders distanced himself from the talking points produced by this document and says that he did not personally approve this document. He said if it was produced, it was done by a rogue employee who's someone who's not affiliated with the campaign. We have hundreds of employees. Elizabeth Warren has hundreds of employees, and people sometimes say things that they shouldn't, Sanders said, adding that Warren is a friend of mine and that no one is going to be attacking Elizabeth. Well, all right, guys, so that's all of that. Now, just a little bit of commentary on this part. I find it amazing that Elizabeth Warren says that Bernie and I are friends, but then when somebody, not Bernie Sanders, but someone, some small person, maybe not even directly hired or paid employee of the campaign, makes some suggestions in a obscure group that's not public, now you don't contact Bernie and say, Bernie, hey, longtime friend of mine who knows me so well, what's this? Instead, you go make a statement to a reporter with cameras and microphones around. So I just want to point out the hypocrisy of this entire thing, the entire overblown reaction, the fake outrage to all of this. If they were truly friends, as Bernie said many times, as Elizabeth Warren has said many times, what do friends do? Do friends go before cameras in news crews and go with he say, she say, hearsay BS and make it public and play victim? Is that's exactly what Elizabeth Warren is doing. She's playing a victim of, not even of Bernie, of some obscure person, faceless, nameless person in a group somewhere. For all we know, on a Reddit-like group board, message board, who made a comment about her and about the type of people that she attracts with her campaign. And I also want to iterate, guys, I'm not that disappointed in the comment. I find the comment to be full of basis. It's not a smear at all to say that Elizabeth Warren doesn't bring new people into the party because, well, she doesn't. How many people have never voted before are very energized by Elizabeth Warren? How many people are moved to get off the couch because Elizabeth Warren is running? I have not heard this buzz that would lead one to believe that Elizabeth Warren is able to pull people in, independents and disaffected Republicans or pissed off Republicans or people who voted for Trump who now are like, wow, why'd I vote for Trump? Or people who didn't vote last time who are like, you know what, for the first time I'm going to vote. Or young people who have never voted, their first time voting, who are like, you know what, I'm going to believe in this process because I'm so energized by Elizabeth Warren, I just gotta vote. I gotta vote. Like, I haven't heard it or seen it. So, though Bernie Sanders does not take credit, nor does he say he authorized it, nor does anyone in the campaign. I have a direct line to Brianna, David Sirota. I've been following him. I haven't heard him talk about it. None of them take credit and say, hey, this is us. This is what we believe. And as a campaign, this is a difference a difference we're trying to accentuate. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist to determine that there's some validity to the statement, even if it could have been planted. Even if it could have been planted, all with the idea of, well, we're going to say that we're the ones being smeared. Now we're going to have the ability to do some smearing because that's what happens in politics. So put a pin in that thought because on Twitter I said this looks very much like a setup. one of the best ways to smear someone is to pretend that you were smeared. I repeat, a very good way to go after someone and smear them is to pretend that you yourself have been smeared. To feign, I can't believe this person said this about me. Well, since that's the case, the gloves are off now, and now watch me say a bunch of crap. Because, you know, I was wronged. And within maybe 2 hours, my suspicion was validated because Elizabeth Warren, her camp, I don't know about her in particular, I'm not going to say her specifically, but her camp put this out. Here's what CNN is now reporting and running with on their website.
Sanders campaign and the way that they are talking about you at the door.
And MJ, you have some new details about a meeting between these two, a long ago meeting before either of them joined the race. Tell us about this.
That's right. We have some new reporting on a private meeting that took place between Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren in December of 2018. You can do the math on the timing of all of this. This would have been when both senators were both preparing to launch their 2020 campaigns. And the two met in Warren's Washington, D.C. apartment, and they discussed a couple of things. And here's what CNN learned. We learned that the two discussed the importance of staying civil and not going on the attack against one another if the two were to face off in the 2020 election. They thought that it was important to not undermine the progressive movement. We also have reporting that they discussed ways to beat Donald Trump, and that Warren told Bernie Sanders that two major reasons she thought that she would be a strong candidate was because she could mount a robust argument on the economy and that she thought she could get broad support from female voters. Now, 4 sources tell CNN that Bernie Sanders responded to Elizabeth Warren by saying he does not believe that a woman can win. Now, we are also told that Sanders expressed some frustration about the role of identity politics for Democrats, and also that Elizabeth Warren disagreed with Sanders' assessment that a woman could not win. Now, the Warren campaign did not comment in response to this story, but Bernie Sanders has just sent this statement to CNN. I will read it in full. He says, "It is ludicrous to believe that at the same meeting where Elizabeth Warren told me she was going to run for president, I would tell her that a woman couldn't win. It's sad that 3 weeks before the Iowa caucus and a year after that private conversation, staff who weren't in the room are lying about what happened. What I did say that night was that Donald Trump is a sexist, a racist, and a liar who would weaponize whatever he could. Do I believe a woman can win in 2020? Of course. After all, Hillary Clinton beat Donald Trump by 3 million votes in 2016. So, Brianna, not only is Bernie Sanders aggressively pushing back, he is now accusing the Warren campaign of lying.
Yeah. I tell you, it gets thicker and thicker, doesn't it, Johnson? Now, here we go. We got Elizabeth Warren now saying that, well, you know, Bernie Sanders, we had a private meeting, and since now that the gloves are off, let's go back in the archives 2 years ago during a private dinner that I invited him to in my Washington, D.C. apartment. He said some things that, hey, that were mean, or he shouldn't have said them. He said that he didn't think a woman could beat Donald Trump, which is kind of crazy for her to make that accusation, considering he did much to the uproar and the anger and the ire of progressives. He campaigned for Hillary Clinton. He went around the country for Hillary Clinton. There are people who loved Bernie who will not forgive him for campaigning for a woman to beat Donald Trump. And now, as the biggest slap in the face that I think I've seen this political season, Elizabeth Warren accuses him of not believing a woman could win. Now, he worked on behalf of a woman to win. So I find it very hypocritical of Elizabeth Warren to make that allegation. Very slippery. And she may not know this. I know that this was a calculated strategic move by her. I don't think this was not a willy-nilly, oh wow, let's just see what happens. I'm pretty sure that Elizabeth Warren decided, her and her team decided that now this would be the tack that they would like to take. Because, well, they're a campaign, they're a corporation. A corporation is not just a couple of people putting their heads together and deciding, oh, what the hell? Let's give this a shot. No, a campaign at the size and stature of Elizabeth Warren's campaign has decision makers, and they have meetings, and they have staff, and they have all types of stuff. They have catered foods and logistics. And what I'm trying to tell you is that this was strategic. This was planned, okay? Also, part of the plan was they're going to make some money off of this thing. Yeah, some money off this, Johnson. Check this out. This is the document that the Elizabeth Warren campaign sent out, where Elizabeth Warren tries to raise money off of this thing. Last night, we got some disappointing news. Bernie Sanders' campaign is instructing volunteers to dismiss our broad-based, inclusive campaign by saying the people who support Elizabeth Warren are highly educated, more fluent people. When I heard that description, I didn't recognize it. That doesn't describe me or many of the passionate volunteers and organizers I know. This type of attack isn't about disagreeing on issues. It's about dismissing the potency of our grassroots movement. I can't read any more of this, guys. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't read no more of that. Elizabeth Warren is pounding her chest, patting herself on the back to the point of dislocating her elbow about a grassroots movement. Someone needs to educate Elizabeth Warren on what a grassroots movement looks like. Maybe it looks like a campaign with the most donors ever in the history of campaigns in the United States. Maybe that's what a grassroots movement looks like. A campaign that has more officers and volunteers than any other campaign has ever had in the United States. Raise more money than any campaign in the Democratic Party in the United States ever. Maybe that would be a good benchmark for what a grassroots movement looks like, a broad-based grassroots movement. You know what's not an organization or a campaign that's run by a presidential candidate that uses words like factualism, that the majority of people don't even know what the hell that means. Factualism. Bernie Sanders campaign, guys, the average donation, was it $18? I don't think that's Elizabeth Warren's average donation. The most common job of a Bernie Sanders donor, teacher. Top 3 most popular employers, Target, Walmart, and USPS, Postal Service. Is that working class enough for you? Yeah, that's pretty working class. I mean, these are all factual statements. It's just reality talking, guys. So, I'm not here to say that Elizabeth Warren shouldn't run. She should run. She's running. But to try to play victim, to avoid responsibility for your flailing campaign, to avoid your own messaging gone awry, to avoid facing up to the fact that you're slipping in the polls. And folks, make no doubt about it, Elizabeth Warren is slipping in the polls. This all conveniently comes a day before a debate and while you're slipping in the polls. Even if you believe Elizabeth Warren and you say, yeah, that Bernie, he probably doesn't like women. I know he's married to a woman. I know he went around the country for a woman. I know that he lost some supporters because he endorsed a woman that a lot of his supporters didn't like. But he probably doesn't like women. Even if you believe that, guys, why wait till now, a day before a debate, less than a month out from Iowa, to come out and say it? That's all. That's all I'm saying. Why wait till now? If this is true, that Bernie is a chauvinistic, misogynistic pig, why wait till Iowa when you're slipping in the rankings and when you're falling behind? We all know. Don't we all know the reason for this? The timing? Look, I don't believe in coincidences. Neither should you, Johnson. Believe in what your eyes see and what your ears hear. That's what you can believe in politics. Very little else should you believe. To that point, that Elizabeth Warren is getting desperate, desperately seeking a win, desperately seeking a comeback is what Elizabeth Warren is doing. Elizabeth Warren and her team, they watch the news just like anyone else. Have you seen what they're saying about the Bernie Sanders campaign relative to what they're saying about Elizabeth Warren's campaign? Just in case you missed it.
Vaughn, did he yell? Did he go, Vaughn?
Bud,
I'm going to win
here's
this
the
thing.
deal.
What did he do?
He sounds pretty much like the same man that's been around the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Look, the rallies that he had in Davenport yesterday, Iowa City yesterday, is the exact same Bernie Sanders that I heard on the stump back in 2018 when he was out here campaigning for congressional Democrats, back when he was 2015 doing this the first go-around. But this is the first time there was the Des Moines Register CNN poll that was released late Friday night, which is kind of the gold standard poll here in Iowa. And this is the first time that he has sat atop that poll. And there's one number in particular that I want to point out from that, and that is voters who were asked whether they were extremely enthusiastic about the candidates that they were selecting as their first choice. 49% of folks that said Bernie Sanders was their top choice, they said they were extremely enthusiastic about. Compare that to Pete Buttigieg and Joe Biden. That number was just 26%. I want to play for you my exchange with Bernie Sanders when I asked him about the poll, which you'd be surprised by his answer, but in which he's doing quite well. This is what he said.
Polls go up and down, but what is important to me is the kind of grassroots support that we have. So polls are great. Some days they're good, some days they're not good. But I think we're going to win here in Iowa because we have an extraordinary grassroots movement. Our goal, unbelievably, this month right here in the state of Iowa is to knock on 500,000 doors. I don't think any campaign in American history has done that. And at the end of the day, TV ads are great, radio ads are great, but human contact is what matters, and we think we have the movement to do that.
Folks, you can say whatever you want to say. You can have any type of ideas you want to have. But at the end of the day, what's evident is that everyone in this race is running to win the race. It is a competition. And I'm really not, I don't want to come down too hard on anyone about wanting to win the race, but the way that you play the game is not to play victim. See, Elizabeth Warren is starting to sound a lot like Hillary Clinton. And there have been people that I, respect, colleagues that I respect, who have touted how great Elizabeth Warren was. And I've never felt that way about her. I've never seen this integrity dripping from her. I've never seen it. I've seen a flip-flopper, a fighter of convenience, not a fighter of ethics. I've seen her get baited into arguments with Donald Trump on Twitter and then get embarrassed, being lured out in this whole thing about a DNA test. I've seen her not stand up for indigenous rights, but it's over and over, issue after issue. This is what I've seen her do. But there have been people that have stood behind her and said, you know what, that her policies are progressive. And at the end of the day, here's the problem that I've had since then, and it's the problem that I see now. I do not see a leader out of Elizabeth Warren. And in situations like this that underscore it, and it has nothing to do with her gender. It has to do with her backbone. A fighter doesn't have to keep telling you that I'm a fighter. A fighter demonstrates by the fights that they wage. Elizabeth Warren keeps saying, I'm a fighter, I've been fighting. Where's the fight? Where is the true representation of your fight. Once again, guys, and I think this will put it to bed. If what Elizabeth Warren is saying is true, that Bernie Sanders can't stand women, has no respect for women, basically that's what she's saying, then why was Bernie Sanders campaigning for a woman? Why was he working for her? That woman being Hillary Clinton. And if you respect women to the extent that you do, why didn't you come out and support Hillary Clinton much earlier? And if you and Bernie are such friends, if you've known each other so long, why didn't you come out and support Bernie Sanders last time out? If you're so aligned with your policies, why not? But see, all those answers to those questions lead me back to the same place I've been, which is the time for excuses is over. Elizabeth Warren is desperate. Her campaign is on the ropes. You see the enthusiasm level there based in that poll that you just saw. You saw it, I saw it. People in the Elizabeth Warren camp saw it. They're not blind. They see too. They see that Bernie has 49% enthusiasm to Elizabeth Warren's 32%. That's a difference, Johnson. It's only 6 more points higher than Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg. She's only beating Pete by 6 points in the enthusiasm column. The question that the reporter asked Elizabeth Warren, going back to that, she asked a question. She said, according to this document, you're not going to be able to bring in new voters. What do you say to that? And instead of answering the question, Elizabeth Warren proceeded to play victim and talk about what she expected out of Bernie and how ashamed of him that she was. But she never answered the question. And folks, when you are only ranking 32% enthusiasm, how can you then claim that you have such grassroots potential? I don't think you can, Johnson. I want to prove one more point to you, because this I did not expect to play. So give me a second for this, because I want to show this to you, because this is something that I happened upon earlier. Let me pull it up for you. And I wasn't originally going to include this in this broadcast, but I really want to make sure you know.
Democrats, above all things, if you talk to them, if you look at polls, they put electability at the top of the list.
Yep.
They want to win. They want to beat Trump.
Yes.
What do you say to those who are worried that
Bear
your
with me.
message
I think it's going
is
to seal
too progressive,
this
too far left to
conversation.
win a general election?
Okay. So let me go back here just to set up the clip. Okay. See, now, I have no reason to defend Bernie Sanders if I thought that Bernie Sanders was a basher of women, didn't love women, didn't respect women, that'd be another thing. I don't believe that's true, and I believe that Bernie Sanders believes that it's not about gender or race as far as who can defeat Donald Trump. It's about what are you running on? And are you building a coalition based on issues that everyone cares about? That's what Bernie believes, and that's the kind of campaign he tries to build and that he has built. And for better or for worse, that's his mindset. To that point, Bernie was just on ABC Today. Not today, the show, ABC Today. The Today Show on ABC. And the reporter was asking him, how can you defeat Donald Trump? Bernie's reasoning of what he thinks is necessary in order to defeat Donald Trump, he lays it out. That's the clip I want to share with you, because I think it shows that either Elizabeth Warren is a big fat liar, or her aides who are outside the door of this private dinner heard it wrong. Okay? Well, I hope that's the case, because here goes the clip.
Democrats, above all things, if you talk to them, if you look at polls, they put electability at the top of the list.
Yep.
They want to win. They want to beat Trump.
Yes.
What do you say to those who are worried that your message is too progressive, too far left to win a general election?
No. The way you beat Trump, and I believe this very strongly, is you're going to need a huge voter turnout. And that means you need a campaign of energy and excitement, which speaks to the working class of this country, which speaks to young people, which brings people into the political process who have never been in that process before. That is what our campaign is about.
Can I just ask you, if you look at 2018, our most recent national elections, the midterms, the candidates you endorsed, I believe of all the competitive districts that could have gone red to blue, only one of them flipped. The Democrats got the House back, but they did it by running more centrist campaigns.
No,
and they flipped districts. I mean, so a lot of Democrats are saying
Savannah, it's
maybe
more
that's the way to win.
complicated than that.
Okay.
One of the things that we managed to do in 2016 is energize a lot of young people and working people who previously had not voted. And that 2018 election, we saw a huge increase in the number of young people who were participating, which is exactly what we have to do. Look, what the American people understand is that the middle class is stagnant right now. People are working longer hours for low wages. They can't afford prescription drugs. They can't afford to send their kids to college. Meanwhile, the people on top are doing phenomenally well. The American people, in my view, want a government and an economy that represents all of us, not just wealthy campaign contributors. That's why I believe we're going to win.
Senator Sanders, nice.
All right. So Bernie answered the question right there. He said exactly what I've been trying to explain, that I think is the mindset of Bernie Sanders and what his campaign is about and what he believes will win this election. Not just the nomination, but win the general election against Donald Trump, which is actually speaking to the issues that matter to the people. Bernie, I believe that Bernie believes that. And I don't think that has to do with gender. That has to do with what your agenda is. Not your gender, but your agenda. And if your agenda addresses these issues that impacts working people, poor people, middle-class people, black people, white people, Latino people, Asian people, Native American people, people gray, straight, bi, trans, whatever you are, if the issues that you are addressing impacts the lives of those people and sets out to make those lives better, then you will do well. And that's what I think he believes. That's true populism. I don't think that has anything to do with gender. Okay? And the last point I want to make before we go is thank God this happened. Yes, thank you. I'm so glad this happened. I'm not upset. I'm happy this happened. You know why? Because I'm so tired of people with wishful thinking believing that the Bernie Sanders campaign is working with other campaigns. That somehow this is a buddy situation. That this is a dual presidential run situation. When it's not. This should be your clearest indication that Bernie Sanders is running to be president and Elizabeth Warren is running to be president. And so is everybody else, not to name any more names. Please let this put to bed the notion that Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are a couple. That we're going to have the first co-presidency. Dual presidency. We are not. They are both running to win the nomination. Johnson. So let this serve as a representation. Let this serve as proof, finally, that they're not in cahoots. I had Senator Nina Turner on the show, and she said it, and people said, well, Tim, she has to say that because if there was a secret pact, then she couldn't say it because it's a secret. What do you need to happen to show you? She just backstabbed Bernie twice in 24 hours. Twice. Is that enough proof for you? What else should she do? Set fire to his home in Vermont? What else could she do to prove to you satisfactorily that Bernie's doing this, that the Bernie Sanders campaign is unilaterally running for president, that it's not a team effort with other candidates. All right, guys. Tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have the typical show. We got a couple of stories from Cory Booker dropping out, and there's so much other stuff going on we love to address. But we had to bring you this coffee special presentation. Now I'm going to go to the comment section, guys. Hey, you guys got any comments you want me to read? If you super chat at me, I will definitely read those now. And, yeah, let's do that. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, guys, because, like, this type of political analysis that you get on the Tim Black Show is not something you can get anywhere else. I'm different. I like it that way. I don't apologize for being different. We good with it. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack right here on this channel or go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. All right, so let's go check those comments. Whew. Let's see what we got. Okay, so let me read here. Anthony Ardillo. Anthony Ardillo is a member now. Thank you, Ardillo, for joining us, Anthony. I appreciate it. Maker of Things. G. Willikers. My Mima cried because of Bernie. G. Willikers, Tim Black. Golly gee, Tim Black. I gotta tell you, I'm really disappointed. I'm disappointed in Bernie, but I'm disappointed in you too. You milk dud. You milk dud head. What is wrong with you? You are really tanning my britches. Anna Bird, retired, says, new report. 4 Warren staffers leaked that Bernie told Warren in 2018 a woman couldn't win. It's a damn lie. Gonna get ugly. Get your steel drawers on. Darren Allaby says, Project Veritas threatened to drop something on Sanders over the weekend. Clearly, all sides working to destroy Sanders' campaign as they can see the headlights Bernie's going to win. Brandon Plummer, unity, unity, unity. Oh, wait, I'm losing. Sexism. Oh, man. Cheryl Tyler, poor Elizabeth Snowflake Warren is plummeting in the polls. Yes, she is, Johnson. Just making up another lie isn't going to work this time, Liz. Time to drop out. Let the beat drop. Fake Christmas for Trump. Why did Bernie support Hillary last time? All candidates, if you run under the Democratic Party, as you should know, are fake Christians. That all candidates who run under the Democratic Party flag all pledge to endorse the eventual nominee no matter who it is. You know that's the rule, right? If Bernie didn't do that, he wouldn't be able to run now as a Democrat. You understand that, right? Let me repeat. All Democrats agree, pledge. They pledge. They put their name and they say, I pledge to do this. If you run as a Democrat, you pledge that you will support the eventual nominee. You don't get to say, I'll support the eventual nominee if I like him. That's not the agreement. The agreement is, will you support the eventual nominee? If you say yeah, then you're bound to do that. I understand that there are people that you deal with who are unethical and they lie all the time. Maybe we don't want a liar for president. Maybe we like someone who keeps their word even if they'd rather not. Maybe that's the type of person we should want to be president. Just a thought. Thanks for your $2. Anthony says, love you, Tim Black. Love you back, Anthony. Thank you for your support. And thank you again, Anthony. I appreciate it. All right. They keep saying that the video output is low. Hope that's not the case. Hope we're okay. But thank you, Luna Cosmos. All right, guys. Something about new voting. Luna says, please cover the new voting machines in L.A. Okay. Wow. I think you just covered it, Johnson. You just covered it. Well, you just told the world anyway. Well, everybody who's watching. All right, guys, that's it. I love you. I'll see you tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for being here. And Don't let nobody take your cornbread, Johnson. Peace. Popular demand, Johnson is here. I have new Johnson designs in my shop. If you want to pick them up, check them out. They are hilarious, they are revolutionary, and they're all Johnson. You're gonna love them, man. Check them out. Both parties suck, Johnson. It's one of my favorites. Independent media only, Johnson. Keep it real. We are all Johnson. We are. We're one big community, guys. Go check it out. Independent media only. Johnson's in the house. Both parties suck, Johnson. We are here. They got a special going on right now. Free shipping. Get it today. Wolfpack.